Starting over. Hey, what's up? It's me, Brianca J. It's a new episode of Book Talk. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe if you're a book lover like myself, because this channel is all things books. We talk about short stories, literary analysis, critiques. If it's in a book, we're going to talk about it. So if you're a book lover like me, then you're going to love this channel. So hit subscribe. If you're new here, that's what you should do. If you've been here before, I want to thank you for returning to our little corner of the internet. You are so welcome. And I want to get into a new book that I just read, On All Fours by Miranda July. Let's talk about it. So, Miranda July's book, I'm going to get into it. I can tell you right away, I absolutely hated every part of reading this, but I want to tell you why I read it, some of the popular reviews, some of the more popular quotes from the book, and then I'll get into my list of everything I absolutely hate. Sound good? Okay, cool. So, the book. It's about a semi-famous artist. She announces her plan to drive cross country from New York to LA. 30 minutes after leaving her husband and child at home, she exits the freeway, checks into a nondescript motel, and immerses herself in an entirely different journey. Miranda July's second novel confirms the brilliance of her unique approach to fiction. With July's wry voice, perfect comic timing, unabashed curiosity about human intimacy, and palpable delight in pushing boundaries, All Fours tells the story of one woman's quest for a new kind of freedom. Part absurd entertainment, part tender reinvention of the sexual, romantic, and domestic life of a 45-year-old female artist. All Fours transcends expectation while excavating our beliefs about life lived as a woman. Once again, July hijacks the familiar and turns it into something new and thrillingly, profoundly alive. So, but this book won a ton of accolades, including the New York Times top 10 book of the year, a Washington Post notable book of the year, one of the Times Magazine's top 10 fiction books of the year, NPR Books We Love of 2024, and named Best Book of the Year by The New Yorker, Vogue, Financial Times, Oprah Daily, Vulture, and Vox. Vogue says it's a frank novel about a midlife awakening, which is funnier and more boldly human than ever. Nothing short of riveting. Times says All Fours has spurred a whisper network of women fantasizing about their desire and freedom. It's a talk of every group text. Again, just not into it. Some of the more popular quotes of this book, I'll go. Most people really liked a few sentences out of this book. So the top three. One part she says, "You had to withstand a profound sense of wrongness if you ever wanted to get somewhere new." Another second top quote is, "Each person does the amount of lying that is right for them. You have to know yourself and fulfill the amount of untruth that your constitution requires." And the third popular highlight is, "Nobody knows what's going on. We are thrown across our lives by winds that started blowing millions of years ago." All right, now that we've got through that fluff and BS, let's get into the real deal. I honestly could not stand this book. By this chapter 6, I wrote a note to myself and says, why even continue reading? What is going on other than absolutely nothing? I'm so bored. The book, again, yes, this woman, she has everything most Americans. She has the American dream. She has the husband, she has the kid, she has the house in LA, she's having sex 3 times a week. What's wrong? What is wrong?
What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want? God damn it. What do you want?
There is nothing wrong. She decides that she needs to be the kind of person that takes road trips And so she says, I'm going to take my car from LA to New York. Her husband does not protest. Of course, he supports her in everything, in every way, always, because again, nothing is wrong with this woman's life. Zilch zero. Stingy with De Niro. Might buy you crisp, but that about it. Might shot your wrist, but that about it. Okay, sorry. If you know Jay-Z, say what's up in the comments. Yeah, so she goes on this road trip, except she doesn't go. She just lies for 2 weeks. She actually stays 30 minutes from her house in this like motel. She spends her time redecorating the motel, and she even gives like the people there 20 grand. The wife of the guy she's having this fake affair with. Let's get into this fake affair. I actually made a list of things I hate about this book, and that is on it. The affair. I call it fake because they never actually have sex. No penetration whatsoever. They never consummate this affair. The most they do is like, if I read one book without a problem and without a center, like if they said Jane Austen wasn't talking about anything, then this woman surely has absolutely nothing on earth to share with us. And she does so in such a long, drawn out way. So basically, she meets a guy about 20 years younger than her. He works at Hertz. And she starts seeing him, having conversations, hanging out, dancing together. And at one point, she holds his penis while he urines. And he pulls out her tampon. Yes, both all three of those things are on my list of things I hate. If you're going to have an affair worth writing about, or don't tell us about it. Don't share it. Boo. Like if this is like granted, I'm not someone who loves to read smut. But if I was going to read smut, this would not be the smut I read. They don't ever like have the actual sex filled arrangement, and he is a like 30-year-old white man who wants to be a hip hop dancer and is fulfilling his dreams. And he's really attracted to her because he hopes he can help her fulfill his dreams. Um, may I never meet this type of man in my life. Okay? May I never have to sit in a room with this 45-year-old white woman artist who thinks that she's so woke that her sexless affair is worth writing 300 pages about, because I would use this book to level my coffee table. I absolutely hated it. The tampon scene, the urine scene, it made me uncomfortable, but not in a way that made me want to explore. It made me uncomfortable in a way of, girl, do you not have anything else going on in your life? What do you mean? Shit, he goes in the bathroom, she helps him pee, okay, whatever. And then in return, he helps her pull out her bloody tampon. This is about like a page and a half worth of content that I could just never known about. I am not a prude person. I'm not easily disgusted. But not only was I disgusted, I was also bored of her. It was a two for one. So, on my list of things I hate, the tampon scene, her thoughts on urine. Weird. Weird choice of things to share with me is your thoughts on urine. I never needed to know your thoughts on urine, Miranda July. The third thing was the dancing, them dancing in the dark and him dancing so hard he's sweating. But this is also his main way of expressing himself. So he's like convulsing and riveting, and but it's a hip hop dancer, I think. At least if it's not a hip hop dancer, I've imagined him being a hip hop dancer. And maybe that's what makes it worse. I just don't like it. So these things top my list. Lying about going to New York is also on my list because it was never necessary. Um, she also has the part, I had stopped reading the book, guys. At one point, I stopped reading it. Then I started reading it again, and like one of the first lines was like, "Don't gender my child." And I could have punted that book across the room. Okay, somebody get me an application to the Baltimore Ravens because I could be your next kicker the way I hated this book. It was disgusting. Don't gender my child. Or is that where we are in our level of wokeness and progressiveness in America, where we don't gender 7-year-olds? Don't gender my child. You know what? I honestly, I'm from Texas. I'm from Houston. Shout out to the H. I've never met a person from LA that I liked for more than 30 minutes. And now Miranda July enters the list of people from LA I hate. Sorry if you are from LA and you don't act like this. Please let me know in the comments because, gosh, the people that I've met and in this book give it a really bad rap. And all I think of is people who are working way too hard to be woke and aren't enjoying a meal. Two things that I don't want to ever experience. Um, so the non-gendered 7-year old, absolutely boring. She says she loves this guy that she's not having sex with, and girl, you don't. And the fact that I'm even on the fact that you even said that, and I have to read that and have to act like I believe that, and that you have. Have you ever been around someone that is so privileged and has had the whole world handed at them that when they make a complaint, it seems so frivolous and it almost makes you want to punch him? Because that's how I feel. She has a Benadryl addiction. A Benadryl addiction. If you're gonna have an addiction, sweetie, Xanax, Valium, Percocet, Narco, um, heroin, something. Make it good. Like, take some creative license. If this is a book, like, and make me interested. I take 3 Benadryl a night to go to sleep. First of all, there is Ambien for that, so that's just a weird choice in over the counter drugs. Like, you have insurance, go get some Ambien. What are we doing here? I hate this book. I hated reading it. I hate trying to finish it. I hated that the reviews were so positive. It makes me feel that all of these people are paid to write nice things about your book and they didn't actually read it themselves. Um, I hated that the only people that were telling the truth about this book, at least in favor of what I felt, were some of the people on Reddit and a few people on Audible. Other than that, people were simply saying yes, 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 yes. I loved it, and I really can't believe that anyone loved it. I can't be the only person on Earth having actual problems that are worth. If I read a book, I would like their problems to be bigger than the things that I go through in my life. This woman couldn't stand next to me in a coffee shop and tell me anything. I'd be like, please shut the fuck up. Like, that's how much I hated listening to her story. I do not recommend this book, but if you still want to read it, it is in my description box below. If you read it and get to the 6th chapter like I did and need to work off some steam, I have a free trial to Audible free trial to ClassPass below as well, where you can try out 20 you get 20 free credits to try out any class of your choice in your area. And then if you have natural hair and you or skin and you want to get it all together and be glowing and da 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 da, that's also in the comment box below. Do your thing. This is Brianca. This is Book Talk. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. I hope I never read this book again. Don't say I didn't warn you, but please leave your comments and your thoughts below.